Hello guys and welcome here. My name is Yassine and in today's video we are going to talk about the stock history function in Microsoft Excel. So basically what exactly is the stock history function? Well, it's a function in Microsoft Excel that will allow you to go and look for history of stock prices no matter what that stock is. So the purpose of this video, we are going to work with three stocks that are pretty popular. So we're going to work with Amazon, we're going to work with Tesla, and we're going to work with INVIDEO, of course. So let's write down the names of those stocks. So here we're going to have a little table that will be called stocks. And as I said, first of all, we're going to have Amazon. So we're going to enter the four letters for that stock. We will have Tesla, which will be TSLA. And finally, we will have NVIDIA, which will be NVDA. So those are basically the three stocks that we are going to work with. Now, the stock history function allows us to import various types of data about that stocks. But what exactly we want to import? We want to import the open price, the high price, the low price, and the close price. We also want to import from today's date for the past 30 days date, all right? So each and every day you'll see it's gonna be for today's date and the past 30 days. So to be able to do that, we are going to use the today function. So how exactly the today function works? Pretty simple. You can just write down the little equal sign and simply write down today. And as you can see, we'll have the today's date. There we go. So this is the today's date. So we are going to work with the today's date basically and simply go and look for the past 30 days of that stock. All right, so let's start. So how exactly this function works? So pretty simple. Let's say I want to write down this function right here. So I'm just going to write stock history. So at first glance, the function looks complicated since there is a lot of parameters, but you'll see it's going to be pretty simple. So first step, you want to select the stock from which you want to import the history, so the data of the stock that you want to work with. In our case, we want to start with Amazon, which is right here, all right? So we're going to select Amazon. Next, we want our start date. So from when we want to start the importation of our data. So as I said, we want to start the importation of our data from today's date. So from this cell minus, let's say for the past month, which will be the minus 30. So minus 30 will be the last 30 days. And the end date. So the next parameter will be the end date. So in our case, the end date will be, again, this one right here. So we're just going to add the dollar signs to lock the cell. Here we go, and we're going to do the same thing right here for the end date. Now, once it's all done, the next thing that we want to add, we want to have the interval. So in our case, we want to have a daily interval. So daily will be 0, weekly will be 1, and monthly will be 2. In our case, we want a daily interval since we want to have the stock price on a daily basis. So we'll enter 0. Now, do we want to have a header or no header? In our case, we want to have a header. So it will say open, high, low, and close. So we'll enter show header. Now, next. Now the interesting part. So what is the order of the data that we want to have? So the first thing that we want to have will be the open price. So we'll just click on 2. Since open is number 2. So we'll enter 2. Then comma. After the open price, what we want to have? We want to have the high. So the high will be number 3. After that, we want to have the low, so it's going to be number 4. And after that, we want to have the close, which will be the number 1. Of course, if you want to have the dates as well, it's going to be pretty important. We'll enter them. So we'll enter them here. So it's going to be 0. Here we go. So we'll just check out if everything is fine. So here we go. We have our header. We have all our properties. And now what we can do, we can just close our parentheses and run the function. So it's gonna take a few seconds. And as you can see here, we have all the dates that have appeared. So we can just make our cells a little bit wider. Here we go. And as you can see, we have just imported all the data for our Amazon stock for the past 30 days. So as you can see, the only little issue is that the day of to date will be here, but otherwise for the rest, as you can see, it imported pretty much everything that we need. Now, next thing, let's say we want to change something inside of our function. So how exactly can we proceed? So pretty simple. In this case, we have our cell C5, which is the Amazon stock. So if we want to have the data for the Tesla stock, we can just change the parameter here. Instead of the cell C5, we can put it C6, which will be the Tesla stock. So let's write down C6 and we run the function. And as you can see, now we have the Tesla stock pretty much everywhere. We can do the same thing for the NVIDIA stock. So we'll just go inside of our formula as always. And here it's gonna be C7 and we can just run it. And once again, as you can see, we have all the historical price of NVIDIA for the past month basically. So this is how you use the stock history function. And basically this is how you can get access to pretty much all the data for all the stocks. Also, if you want to have data for specific dates, it's possible to do that as well. So in this case, my start date is today, but it can be, for example, today minus, I don't know, 50. And in this case, as you can see, I have the data from November till December, all right? So this is a way to do it. Or you can just change your start date and write a random start date, and you will have access to all the stock data, even if you do that. So this is how you use the stock history function. So once again, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and see you in another of my videos.